A beautiful morning out here at the river house. Got a few things on the agenda this blustery, a little chilly Saturday day. First, I want to sneak this thing down the highway and get it down over in the elbow where Shay and I have been working on clearing brush the last few days. I'll tell you why that suddenly became a priority probably in another video. In fact, it's a pretty long story, so it might be two. And we'll need some river house stuff to do over the winter, so. I'm not trying to clickbait, I just don't know if I want to tip my hand quite yet. But this is in here for a good old-fashioned greasing, because I want to use the machine to build a little bit of road. Be a whole lot easier with the excavator, but I just think highway department would be a little upset if I drove that down the highway. So that's what we're up here to do today. At least it is warm, or by our standards warm, but it is definitely a beautiful day. Oh, so she's all greased up, including some fittings that don't normally get greased, like the kingpins over there, and I had to put a new zert in here. It'll probably get broken off again, but such is life. I even fed her a can of the good no corn high test. See if she likes that at all. Found that it's starting to crack right through here and right through here. That's us picking at those rocks. It doesn't appear to be super structural right now. Well, I mean that one does. But this one seems to be somewhat superficial. And you can see the old weld lines. I'm not working it very hard today, so I'm not particularly worried about it, though quite clearly it's going to need to be addressed in the springtime spruce up. But I believe we're going to be good enough to go. Sure wish there wasn't quite so much traffic on the dang road today. Oh well. I'll put some lights on the back of it and a light on the front of it. If you miss the glowing yellow tractor in the road with the flashy lights, it's kind of your fault. So, such, as I said, is life. Well, crap. This effing thing. The hoe is just too big. All right, well, make sure I ended up with all my tools still in the bucket. Looks like it's all still there. Plan B. Plan B. So I pulled it off with brute force and ignorance. Filled the ditch in. Yes, I'll unpack it. Filled in the ditch and bonsai! Did a wheel stand all the way up into there, but we're in here. Now I'm going to remove all this rock. Then I'm going to try to straighten the tractor out. I might have to push it with the bucket. And I'm going to take down this dirt berm right here so that this doesn't happen again. Well, I used the hoe and I flattened out that hump and started to grade out the approach angle, basically where the road crews had just shoved it up into a big pile. But because the hoe is so heavy, I can't climb the hill because she just has no weight on the front wheels and I can't steer it, and then it hits a rock with a rear tire and pivots around and ends up over here in the bushes. So now I have to stop, fill the bucket full of stone, then I can get it up the hill. And before you ask, yes, the tires are full of antifreeze. No, it didn't make any difference. Quite frankly, the hoe is just too heavy. All right, let's see if we can climb her. Back that way. River. Highway 200. This is a little pocket. So, I guess I will spill the beans. Why are we frantically down here? Well, we got notice that the road survey team wanted permission to cross our land to begin the very serious, I think I might see a flag down there, very serious act of preparing this area to expand the road. I'll do 2 detailed videos about it, but in a nutshell, one of the potential routes actually has it coming in up top, and the other potential route has it taking a substantial amount of this down in here. So you know they're going to come back and they're going to want to offer me bids and things. Well, this area, when it was full of brush, looked minuscule. This is always where I have wanted to put small little cabins, right? The problem, of course, I felt was that my guess is road access would be impossible. No legal drive. Of course, if they're going to expand the thing, that can be part of our requirement as a legal drive. Regardless, they're going to come through and start evaluating stuff soon and cutting me an offer, right? Well, I wanted to make sure this looks serious. We didn't even bother walking down here with the real estate agent, though we did walk ourselves before getting here. So I wanted this to really pop and shine. Additionally, this is the one spot on the property that has never been picked for rock. You could see that they started over there, but it never got picked for rock. So if it ever came down to value, and I'm not saying I want to tear this place up, but if it ever came down to value, this is where the value is. And if putting the road through is going to lock me out of this area, except by foot permanently, then dang it, I want this to be valued as well. So my current goal is, when the family gets here, is to continue to clear and brush this out. I'm going to take the backhoe and I hope to push this berm in and actually take the road all the way around over there. Get all this firewood cut out of here, get all this brush cut out of here, so that when the crews stand here, no one can tell me that this isn't big enough to build something. Of course this is big enough to build something. This little triangle right here is bigger than most people's lots in town. This would be considered a farm in Colorado and a ranch in California. Right? That's 3-4 acres, maybe right down in here. We're far enough away that if I was to fill in some down in there, I believe I could even get a septic system, because there's no permanent creek through here, and that's going to be more than 100 feet from the edge of the river. So you're darn right this has value, and I want to make sure that I showcase that. Additionally, right, the only thing that can pick that rock up is the excavator, and it would cost me well, it cost me $500 to get the excavator moved down here. But if I had to pick rock, okay, $500 to get it down, $500 to get it back, so $1,000. But if I come in here and they tell me there's $15,000, $20,000 worth of rock, well then we have ourselves a plan. What makes this rock more valuable is simply the lichen, right? They want it for yard rock and stuff, and you don't have to wait 100 years, so they glean the top edge off, and we have no idea what's underneath of it, but since it's a raw virgin scree slope, the mine had workers picking at that formation right there, and I don't exactly know why. Again, my goal is not to rip this thing to shreds. My goal is that we get a fair price when dealing with the state, and they of course are in the business of really not doing that. They don't value on potential. See, I look here and I say, hey, if you'd have done this in 10 years, the potential down here would have been amazing. This would have been graded. There have been rock walls, little campsites. Right now it's a brushy hellhole, and of course I bought the whole property out of bank default, so the valuation is really low. They're going to use that against all my neighbors. I'm getting preemptively upset. That's not what this video is about. So the wife and the child are coming. We're going to grill us some hot dogs. So we're going to come down in here. This will be the first time I believe she's ever walked down here, because bugs. Well, there ain't no bugs right now. She is alternately incredibly fascinated by falling of trees and incredibly horrified that I'm falling trees. So it's kind of a hit or miss there. But like I said, I want to bring the hoe in here, crush this, scoot it back a little bit, and then, you know, knock over and pull out these stumps. And this direction right through here is what I'm going for. I don't know what this is made from. This is old Highway 200 roadbed somewhere down in here. So I don't know what this is. I got rocks on top, but it feels like dirt. I'm not entirely sure. Needless to say, with one of the routes going right through where our building site is, or right below where our building site is for the highway, we've stopped all work on everything. We've stopped all work on everything until we have a better understanding, and I'm just sort of frantically doing valuation stuff, right? And that's what today is about. That and cooking hot dogs with the family.
sits on the bedside table. The curtains are closed, the cat's in the cradle. Who would have thought that a boy like me could come to this? Oh, I just died in your arms tonight. It must have been something you said. I just died in your arms tonight. Is there any just cause for feeling like this? On the surface I'm a name on a list. I tried to be discreet, but then I blow it again. I've lost and I found is my final mistake. She's loving my proxy, no giving all take. 'Cause I've been through to fantasy one too many times. It's over, the moment is gone. I follow my hands on my head. I knew I was wrong. I knew I was
Here's what we got done. I mean, it'd be enough to get the pickup through in low range. You saw the tractor, since the hoe is so heavy, the tractor cannot push. It cannot push anything with the bucket. It just can't. So it just lifts the front wheel off the ground, and then there's nothing, and it goes wherever it wants to. So I had to drive it back down in there, and then pull it all towards me with the hoe, and then I kind of got it stuck right here, and I had to shove even farther, and found some interesting stuff. See, my goal is to get it drivable straight out through there, so that I can come in off the road right here and swing through, because trying to get backed out onto that is just dangerous. I mean, it's not a driveway. I doubt it's legal for a driveway if you wanted it anyways. This is just access. So I gotta get all these out. That'll still be a mess. Once I get down in there, it's smooth sailing. I can get out. But I got a bunch more to do here. But I'm gonna take the hoe out of here, and it's really unlikely I'll get it back down here this year. I mean, we're December 15th and it's above freezing with no snow. That can't last much longer. And you already see this thing won't move with snow. I think we're done. They're moving a firewood stack for some reason. I'll get everything picked up, and we'll bring it up. I want to change the oil. It's an ugly gray color, and we'll put it away for the year. At least no one will be able to say, hey, we had no plans. Because quite clearly I can say, well, I already started clearing. I already started clearing. Right in through here, I hit a bunch of coal. That's a clinker. Right there. I don't know why, but it appears that there was some sort of portable blacksmithing operation set up right here. Here's a chunk of honest to God Pennsylvania coal. And then a starter rod. It's been hammered and shaped. I mean, look how much that collar's been hammered. This thing. And then it broke off. But you can see where they had hammered it back and repointed it and hammered it back and repointed it, hammered it back and repointed it. It finally broke off. So I don't really know why that's down there. It's interesting because there doesn't appear to be any real drilling in along here. But this was Old Highway 200 somewhere through here. There's a bunch of telegraph line scattered up in there. Lots of copper. We're gonna have to come back and get it. Well, we got a telegraph crossbar right there. And a telegraph crossbar up there that Shay found. We've got all of the wooden mounting posts. So I'm gonna go up and get that, I think. Right?
Uh-huh. You're actually gonna go up and get that right now?
I'm gonna go up and get that right now. I'll have you and your mom start packing stuff away, okay?
Alright.
I wonder if they have date nails. This kind of stuff. This is the one place I haven't really been to. I've been to the base of that telephone pole, which the best I can tell is about as far that way as we go. It definitely doesn't look like. I mean, there's a road they started pushing in down there. It definitely does look like somebody did some stuff over in here. There are pictographs a couple of miles down. I don't see any here, but that would be super cool. Oh, he's right. There's a second one right up there. Huh. Oil's gray with water contamination, and that's what's stuck to the magnet. Well, that ain't good. I can feel some chunks in there, so I'm gonna go get a clean paper towel. Ah, that ain't good at all. What do you figure that is? There's no way she'd run this quiet with a spun rod. It did have some valve train issues where the overhead had a broken bolt on this end, and I had to fish that out. It could easily come out of the overhead valves. Of course, when we bought this thing, whoever owned it had dumped in a couple of gallons of gasoline. I think the old guy got confused as to what it was, that silver cap or that silver cap. Anyways, you know, she's been well and thoroughly cleaned and flushed inside. We drained it, filled it with used motor oil, ran it, drained it, changed the filters, and filled it with brand new motor oil. Could still be sludge coming out of it. Not thrilled with the gray color. There's clearly water in it. It's probably a head gasket. I'll pick up a filter, pick up oil, and I'll put a wrench. I'll put a wrench on every head bolt and just, you know, torque wrench. I go look. I got the books, so I'll look up the torque and click them, and we'll see what she does. We'll see what she does. It looks like I'd have to drop the front axle to drop the pan. Well, it's got a little bit of work left to do this winter, and next summer it can receive some attention. Let's start with fresh oil first. Well, I don't hear catastrophic motor problem. Dang it, light's going dead. I don't hear any catastrophic motor problem. But I can tell you what, the stuff in that bucket looks scary. I'm gonna have to let it settle out. See if I can find out just how much metal is in it. I'll have to wait for better light, or light that actually is working, but yeesh, I'm not sure that gray is water. That gray might be metal, but where the heck would it be coming from and have it still run? Just pooping along, no problems, no overheating, no bubbling out the radiator. Nothing. Maybe it was just crap cleaned out of the motor over the years. I don't know. We'll watch this oil and see what it does.